how are you? Today I brought you a low-carb dessert recipe that you are definitely going to love. Super healthy, great if you want to lose weight, control your blood sugar, if you follow a low-carb diet, or if you just want healthier food, you're going to love it. It has no sugar, no wheat flour, and no gluten, and it tastes delicious. Stay until the end because you won't want to miss this. On top of everything, it's very filling, rich in protein, high in fiber, and low in calories. You're going to love it. Tell me down below if you'd like to lose weight. If so, how much? And if not, if everything's fine with you, let me know that too. I'd love to see your comment. Go ahead and like the video. This is your way of helping me out here on the channel. Plus, it lets YouTube know that you enjoy these recipes and videos, so it will recommend more of them to you. If you know someone who would like or needs a healthy recipe like this, share it. Let's grow this chain of kindness together because that's what I want here with our channel. So remember that the ingredients with the correct quantities are always listed down below so you can make this at home too. So the first thing I have here are the egg whites. And don't worry because I've set aside the yolks to use later in the same recipe. So I'm going to beat the egg whites here until they form stiff peaks. I'm going to use this device here because it's more practical, but you can beat them with a fork or even with this manual whisk, no problem. I'll beat them until they're nice and fluffy and I'll be right back. Hold on. I've whipped the egg whites and now I'm going to add a bit of baking sweetener. Remember, I have a video here on the channel talking about the different types of sweeteners we can use. And since we want this recipe to be low carb, of course we can't add sugar here. If that's not an issue for you, it works just the same, but remember that it will completely change the metabolic and nutritional aspects of the recipe. And here I have shredded coconut and I'm going to mix all this coconut in until it reaches a batter-like consistency before we bake it. If you love healthy recipes like this, if you want more help to lose weight, to control your blood sugar, remember that I have several playlists here on the channel with recipes and tips, and I'll leave the links for you down below in the description. Look, I kept adding the rest of the coconut until it was well mixed, and now I'm going to bake it. So I'm going to line this up nicely, spread it out, and put it in the oven, which is really quick, and I'll be back in a bit. This smells amazing, just like coconut candy. I'll be right back so we can make our topping. While our base is baking, I'm going to start making the filling here in the pan. I'm going to add the almond milk here. You can use any milk you like, including cow's milk, skim milk, and so on. Remember that I have a video on the channel teaching how to make almond milk from scratch if you're interested. I'm also going to add the 2 egg yolks here. Remember I told you that I had used the egg whites earlier, but not to worry because I would add the yolks later as well. So they're going in now. We're going to make a cream and I'll stir it here to thicken it slightly over the heat. Remember that egg yolk is very nutritious. Some people are afraid to eat yolks daily, but there's no need. After all, everything in life is about balance and yolk contains vitamin D, choline, B-complex vitamins, so it's a very nutritious food. Let's wait for this to thicken a little because there are still a few more ingredients to add to this filling. Hold on. Look, I cooked it over low heat until it reached this point. See, it's cooked. You can see the bottom of the pan. It's thicker now. So now I'm going to take this off the stove because the next ingredient doesn't need to be cooked. So here for the filling, I have cottage cheese, which is a high protein cheese, low in fat, very balanced with a mild flavor. If you want to use fresh ricotta or even my homemade white cheese recipe from the channel, that works too. Now I'm going to incorporate this mixture, which is similar to a pastry cream, and then blend everything together until the consistency is smooth, rich, and creamy. Of course, something sweet is missing here because there's nothing sweet at all, really, for us to make this filling. So I'm going to add a bit of sweetener. In this case, I'll use liquid stevia since nothing else will be cooked. So the stevia goes in here, and I'll blend it in the food processor until it's smooth. So I've blended the mixture here and I'm going to set it aside for a bit because here I have some water and in it I'm going to hydrate the neutral gelatin, colorless, sugar-free, with nothing added, no flavor. Remember that gelatin is nothing more than cooked collagen and it will help add protein and firmness to this mixture. So I'm going to put the gelatin in the microwave to melt it. If you prefer, you could also use a double boiler. And in just a moment, I'll be back so we can combine the 2 mixtures. Look, it's already melted, see? It has a completely different consistency now, and I'm going to mix the 2 together here until it's very smooth and well incorporated. Let me scrape it well here to get all the gelatin so nothing goes to waste, and I'll give everything a good mix. Look, it's nicely baked here. I waited for it to cool down a bit. It only took 10 minutes to bake the crust, and then I let it cool for a little while. In the meantime, while I was waiting for it to cool, the cream even started to get thicker. Look how it has a really nice consistency. So I'm going to put it in the fridge, wait for it to set, and then we'll come back here. So I'll be back in just a bit. Let me scrape all of this out so we don't waste anything. Do you also hate seeing food wasted at home? Tell me, I don't like it. So I'm going to scrape it well, put it in the fridge to chill, and in just a bit, when it's firm, we'll come back and pick up from there. So I've already got it here. I'm going to make a topping for us to put on top. I'll melt the chocolate 70% or higher in the microwave, and then I'll mix it with the non-fat yogurt. I'm going to melt the chocolate first so we can mix the two things, and I'll come back here so we can add the topping. Hold on, I'll be right back. So I've already melted it here. Now I'm going to mix in the yogurt. Remember that chocolate, when it's 70% or higher, is an interesting food for us to add to our daily routine. It ends up having a lot of fiber. Chocolate is really good for your mood, for your well-being. It has antioxidants. It's a very healthy and interesting option. So we mix all of these ingredients together right here until the texture is perfectly smooth. And this is an incredibly quick and easy process. And then we carefully spread it over the top layer here as a delicious topping and put it back in the fridge to allow it enough time to set properly and get nice and cold until it is finally ready to serve. So now I'm going to carefully pour and add the healthy chocolate ganache here. Evenly spread it across the surface and level it off. And then I'll place the whole thing back in the fridge just to let it set. Hold on, I will be right back with you in just a moment. Look how beautiful it turned out. I left it in the fridge for about 15 minutes, and now I'm going to cut a big piece here so we can try this delicious treat. Make this at home. You're going to love it for sure. I can't wait to try it. Let me check if everything came out from the bottom. Yes, it did. And look, make this at home. You're going to love it for sure. I'm going to grab my spatula to lift up this delicious dessert. It's amazing. It even looks like a bakery tart. Make it. You're going to love it for sure. Now I'm going to take a piece here so you can see the consistency of the 3 layers. Look at this. Make this at home. You're going to love it for sure. Look at that. Remember to like the video. It really helps me out, and share it with anyone you know who would enjoy it, with anyone who needs it. Let's work together to spread this chain of kindness. That's what I want here on the channel. Now, let's taste it. How delicious. It's funny because it's light, sweet, and the chocolate flavor on top, mixed with the coconut, is really tasty. The cream in the middle is very light. Make this at home. You're going to love it. See you next time. Bye.